Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm joining you just to show off this special merch from High at 9 News. You could find
Yes.
your amazing Adidas polos on www.highat9news.com. Don't forget to check it out.
Well,
You know
we
me.
put the link in the description, Saman, in the
There you
description of
go.
this video where they can go to get it, because I'm not sure if it's linked up to the website or not yet,
Yeah,
to
and if
tell
you
you
don't
the
know how to
truth.
get to the description of the video, we can send you a tutorial on how to find that. But every video has a lot of great information. Keep watching, keep tuning in. We love to see you. We love all the commentary. We love all our fantastic fans. Today, especially, I can't take my eyes off the chat. Amazing. I have a story from our friends at MJ Biz Daily today about the U.S. hemp business. U.S. Hemp Authority offers certification program for intoxicating products. Absent federal regulations for the $28.4 billion market for goods containing intoxicating hemp-derived cannabinoids, and in an era where states are imposing increasingly tough restrictions or outright bans on hemp-derived THC, a major hemp organization has created a certification program for such products. The U.S. Hemp Authority, a Kentucky-based third-party certification body for hemp and CBD products, has launched what it calls the Adult Use Hemp Product Certification Program. Excuse me one second. The Adult Use Program is designed for manufacturers or sellers of products with Delta-8 THC or other hemp-derived cannabinoids, the organization said in a Thursday news release. An industry of good actors. We intend to ensure the hemp industry regulates itself to increase safety and stability, and to demonstrate to legislators and regulators that the industry is made up of primarily good actors trying to bring quality products to consumers, U.S. Hemp Authority President Chris Fontes said in a statement. In order for a product to qualify for U.S. Hemp Authority certification, it must do the following: comply with ASTM product labeling, use child-resistant packaging, be restricted to adults 21 and older, contain only Delta-8 or Delta-9 THC, and be free of novel cannabinoids such as THCO, THCP, Delta-10, THC, and HHC, which are just, synthesized, cannabinoids made through a CBD base product. So CBD isolate, they can convert to THCO, THCP, Delta-10, and HHC. HHC is pretty complex and very dangerous, but that's a good sign. They also must obey purity standards, including disclosing chemicals or compounds used during the conversion process, which is really good. Follow the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's current good manufacturing practices, CGMP. Undergo third-party purity and potency testing at a laboratory accredited by the International Organization for Standardization, ISO. Intoxicating hemp market persists despite bans. Products containing intoxicating hemp-derived cannabinoids have proliferated across the country since the 2018 Farm Bill was signed into law. The Farm Bill clarified that cannabis containing 0.3% THC or less is federally legal hemp, though a loophole allowed for the manufacture and sale of products with much more hemp-derived THC. Marijuana interests say that intoxicating hemp-derived products, which are not subject to the same taxation or regulatory requirements, enjoy an unfair advantage. And authorities across the country have claimed that some unscrupulous businesses are selling such products to minors. So, states with regulated marijuana programs have been acting to try to protect their programs by either restricting such products or banning them entirely. The most notable state to take action is California, which recently passed emergency regulations prohibiting hemp products with any detectable level of THC sold outside the state's regulated marijuana market. It's an open question whether intoxicating hemp products will survive the next iteration of the Farm Bill amid calls to close the so-called loophole. Hemp product manufacturers interested in the U.S. Hemp Authority's Adult Use Hemp Products Certification Program may apply here, and there's a link in the story, and you can check it out if you're one of these so-called companies. And I'm going to start off by saying kudos to the organization who's trying to certify, who's trying to kind of keep this thing afloat and buoy their efforts, because ultimately, everything's just on a diminishing order of magnitude here in every industry, especially in California. So, you got to say kudos to the guys who are trying to certify it, who are making it legit, not just the guys that are out there making the money, but the guys who are trying to protect those guys. So big shout out to them, Chris Fontes, their president, for promoting this program, putting the bullseye on their back and saying, hey, we're going to try to regulate this and try to, reach across the aisle and talk to these other regulators in these other states that are banning them and see what we can do. I think that ultimately, I've been saying this for, I don't know, forever. The bifurcation, Yara used my word today, the separation of the two sides, it's the problem. That's the issue. It's not anything else. It's all cannabis. It all deserves to be regulated the same. And I think that forcing states to undergo these like horrible situations where they have, a license, a swath of licensees who sue them because they feel that the process is unfair. It's the same as what's happening now. And so you're never going to get away from the scrutiny if you're a regulator or if you're, a bureaucrat. You have to actually try to make sense of this. And common sense is the one thing that the government we know does not have. They need to get more common sense about this situation because there's a lot of money that's being missed. And I think that's, the thesis that it's a lot of money being missed.
And Saman, I read the regulations. They're not that they're not that erroneous, and they're not that difficult to do, in my opinion. What do you think?
That list is super. I mean, half of those things are already being done, right? But it's just you have to have congruency, and you have to have a bunch of stakeholders in that process to be like, holding the signs and picketing and saying, hey, we need this to make more sense. Otherwise, we're just, we're doing like the self-regulating portion of this, which is great and all, but it needs, there needs to be a little more, there needs to be a little more definition, a little less confusion on what's happening.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect example of if industry doesn't get its shit together, government will come in to get industry shit together. And typically that will be worse for an industry than if the industry tries to take a thought leadership position in how it can de-risk and evolve. Kudos to them for doing this. To Jason's point, none of this stuff is particularly forward-thinking or innovative. It's just almost like codifying what we consider to be best practices.
Exactly.
The one place where I, because I got to disagree to be me, the one place where I disagree is I don't think, and I'm not saying that this organization is specifically supporting this, but it was mentioned in the article. I don't think that we want to have a world in which intoxicating hemp-derived cannabinoids are not allowed into the food chain or the food supply chain. I think what we need to be thinking about is having non-intoxicating cannabinoids and intoxicating cannabinoids, just different rules. That's all. And whether those intoxicating cannabinoids come from hemp or they come from cannabis, they have a particular set of guidelines that ideally create some parity between the costs and the rules, no matter where that cannabinoid comes from. And so I think that this organization has a vested interest in seeing the sustainability of the hemp industry. And we know that with 2018's Farm Bill, it is ripe for revision. And when it does get revised, it could create some great opportunities, some great checks and balances, some safety measures, and really eliminate the need for governors on a state-by-state basis to be doing something to show that they're trying to take some sort of position on things because they don't have enough guidance from the federal government. We've seen that from New Jersey to California, and that's a byproduct of the federal government not revising that Farm Bill quickly enough to accommodate science and what we're seeing in markets.
Yeah, no, this is just like the thought process that gets me. It's like the regulated marijuana industry is fighting and saying, hey, let's shut down these free market entrepreneurs and pioneers because we want the tax. Like, tax us more. Fuck that. We just take our money. Like, what is going on? Everybody get their head out of their ass. Like, this is the problem. This is why this is what is the ultimate issue. And I think once everybody can kind of kumbaya around the fact that we're getting played, We allowed it to happen. So we need to be the ones to stop it, to turn it around, and to come up with something that makes sense. And I think there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of great ideas. We need to put them all together with the bureaucrats that actually want to change this thing, and we need to come up with a strategy that makes sense for everyone's pocket. Instead of allowing the states to rape us financially with all these tax schemes, as we're seeing, let's come up with something that makes sense. Let's standardize it. Let's get it done.
Well, I will say this is how you get things done, by having a trade organization like this to tell government, like, hey, before you regulate us, this is what we need done. Why don't you just adopt this, and boom, boom, thank you, ma'am. And that's pretty much that. And that's how a lot of the times this thing goes. And so I would expect these rules to be adopted. These may get amended into the into the new farm bill, and just end up being a staple, and just call it a day on that. So I would not be surprised if that happened at all. And weed for the people.
Weed for the people.